Yo, what the vibrant fuck is cracking, shawties? It is your tweaker back with another banger of a video here, alright? We're coming in with a good one, alright? We're coming in with a unique one, alright? This is my first video on Adderall, actually. Haven't really made a video on it because most of the time I do Adderall. It's not like it's necessarily like I don't do shit like downers, but I just don't really do shit that I would make a video on, right? Like I don't usually when I do Adderall, I just make a bunch of music, or I like I'll fucking get a bunch of videos done or some shit like that, right? So usually when I have an experience with, either Adderall or Dexies or whatever the fuck it is, amphetamines in general, I don't really make a video on it, all right? That's not usually something I do. But, this experience was actually very interesting because I actually had this little geek sesh with a very close friend of mine named, I think I called him Bryce, and when I first introduced him, he's the guy I worked at a DI with, the guy that gave me all the weird pills and shit. And he got sent to prison for missing a court date, and he's been there for a year. All right, you know how bullshit that is? That's such bullshit. Free this guy, all right? But basically, how this happened. And this was one of the first times I actually did Adderall after moving to Idaho, right? And it was a long time after I moved to Idaho, too. Like, it was like a good solid year after I moved to Idaho. It was my first semester in college. I had kind of just started to get to know my roommates a little bit. It was near the beginning of the first semester. I was kind of getting used to the dating scene and all that. I was just kind of getting used to BYUI, right? And, this guy, fucking Bryce, he randomly calls me up one night, and he tells me, dude, I just got some Adderall. He had just taken a trip to Boise, and he's been on felony probation for a while, but he's prescribed Vyvanse. So they actually test him for amphetamines, and if he doesn't come up positive for amphetamines, he gets in trouble because he's supposed to be taking his Vyvanse. So they're actually very on ass about that, right? Like they pretty much tell him, like, you need to take your fucking meds, buddy, and if you don't take your meds, you're in trouble. It's pretty much like just the most maximum security ass probation that he's on, right? So he has to take all his meds. And if he doesn't, I'm pretty sure if he doesn't take certain antipsychotics, he actually goes fucking crazy. And I think that's why, because he's got like some mental health shit. Which I guess I shouldn't really go into specifics about, so I won't. I'll just say, I'll just call his condition mental health shit for the rest of the video. But yeah, he calls me up. He had just went to Boise to visit his kids. And cause he has like an ex-wife who he had just like won fucking like court order. He just got like a visitation rights or whatever from like the court, because his ex-wife was trying to fucking block him from having visitation rights or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the whole situation is, but he had pretty much just went to visit his kids in Boise. And he was on his way back, and apparently in Boise, he picked up some Adderall from a friend of his, right? And he came back with these Adderalls, and he called me up, and he was like, dude, if you want, you could we could get high on Adderall tonight, bro. And he was like, dude, I guess he really wanted to hang out with me, because he was like, you can even play some of your rap music, right? Because he hates rap music. He likes metal. And he does not like rap music, because he's low-key like a little bit racist. So he doesn't really like, like all the rappers that like, and like all like the references they make, and just like, he doesn't like the culture of rap music, but he does like drugs. He likes that aspect, right? So he calls me up. He says, "Yo, I got some Adderall. You should come through. We'll get geeked together, and you can choose the music, right?" And since I had tried Adderall in high school, I always loved it, dude. I always, in fact, like, I had kind of, there's been times that I had, like, fiended for that shit since I moved to Idaho. So, I was very intrigued by Bryce's Adderall offer, right? So, I take him up on it. I say, yeah, come through. And he comes through, and he throws me, I think it was 3. It was either 2 or 3 Adderalls. They were just like the instant release, the little orange circular ones, you know, the little orange geek discs. The fucking I think they were 20 milligram ones, and they have like the little double score where it looks like a plus, like a cross with the scoring on the back. And he gave me, I think, I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say 2 of them. Because I didn't get all that, profoundly geeked. Like, this is nowhere near the most geeked I've ever been. And I feel like 3 Adderalls, I would have been geeked to the point where, like, I would remember that shit. Like, I would remember exactly how fire it was, right? But I'll just say 2. Because this is kind of just, like, I don't know. It wasn't, like, it was a fun experience because I got geeked. It was more so a fun experience because I was doing it with such a crazy person, right? So, but the geeking was very, very enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. So he pulls up to my apartment, and he throws me the 2 pills. And I don't know why he fucking did this, but he was like, all right, I'm gonna drive home, and you just, wait, why the fuck did he do this? Saying it out loud makes it sound so much more retarded. Oh my god. Yeah, he pulled up and he was like, bro, I'm gonna go home. I have to help my mom with something. Just start walking to my house in like 20 minutes. I don't know why he didn't just give me a fucking ride, because I ended up running to his house and making it there like pretty fucking quick. It just waited in the back for him anyway, so I don't know why he didn't just, like, give me a fucking ride, but whatever. Yeah, no, so this is the day before he had given me all the weird pills, right? So this was, like, that night. So he threw me these, Adderalls, and, basically what happened, I took, I think, both of them. Yeah, I took both of them. I took these Adderalls, and, holy fuck, I keep yawning. I took these Adderalls. I need some Adderall right now. Maybe I'd stop fucking yawning. I took these Adderalls, and I pretty much got geeked as fuck, essentially, is what happened. But I wasn't geeked yet. I took them. I was at my apartment. I said bye to my roommates. I was like, yo, bye. I'm gonna go to my friend's house. And about 10 minutes after taking these Adderalls, I pretty much just started running to Bryce's house. I went outside and I just started sprinting, dude, because I was like, bro, I want to get to his house before it kicks in, dude. Like, I don't know why I wanted to, but I really wanted to get to his house before it kicked in. And I remember just running so fucking fast for no reason. Like, I was, like, sprinting my ass off. And I got there pretty quick. It wasn't too far of a run. It was, like, maybe, like, a mile. But, I got there and, like, fucking, like, dude. Or, no, it was, like, 2 miles, actually. Yeah, no. Because this is when I used to live at, like, a apartment called The Lodge. And it was, like, kind of, like, on the opposite side of town from him. Like, it was, like, yeah, no, this was, like, 2 miles from his house. Because this was back when I lived, like, way across town. So, it was, like, a 2-mile run. But I made it there in, like, 10 minutes. So, that's, like, a 5-minute mile time average, dude. It was fucking crazy. I was sprinting to his house. And I get there eventually. And I just kind of sit in his backyard, and he was still helping his mom with something, so he wasn't ready yet. So I was just chilling in his backyard, and I came up pretty quickly, right? Like, I came up very fast. I came up very hard. And holy shit, I was geeked, brethren. I was immediately sent to Geek City. Okay, I was just, dude, I was geeking and tweaking in that bitch. I was like snapping all my friends. I was saying, oh my god, I'm fucking geeked right now, holy shit. I was telling all my friends about how geeked I was. And eventually Bryce, eventually Bryce, I just had a fucking seizure trying to pronounce Bryce. Eventually Bryce came out, and it was a while before he came out. It took him a long ass time to come out of his fucking house. But he came out into his backyard, and we were just kind of chilling while I was geeked as fuck. I told him, I was like, dude, oh my god, this is some good fucking Adderall, bro. This is fucking amazing. And he was like, oh yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking, it's nice. And I was like, bro, how much did you take? He was off fucking 5 of them, dude, because he was a big guy. He was like 6'8" and like somewhere like 300 pounds, somewhere above 300 pounds. So he had taken a lot of fucking Adderall. He took like 5 of them. And keep in mind, dude, this isn't the fucking pro-drug shit. This isn't like the Vyvanse shit. This is the shit that's just like instant release Adderall. There's no ceiling effect with this shit. It just goes up and up and up. You get more and more geeked until eventually you fucking overdose, okay? Like, dude, this guy was off 5 Adderalls. Just envision that for a second, okay? But yeah, we pretty much essentially we just kind of like we're chilling for a little bit, and we go to his garage and he starts sorting all his nails and screws, right? And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna do some homework, because I was fucking ecstatic to do homework at this specific point in time. All right, I was ecstatic at the idea of doing homework. You know, that's what Adderall does to you. So I crack out some homework and I get going. I start working on my homework, and holy shit, I get a lot of homework done. But yeah, we're also just like bumping like this rap music on the computer, because that's what he told me that that was his whole selling point. He was like, dude, you can choose the music if you hang out with me and get geeked tonight. And he didn't even make me pay for the fucking Adderall. Dude, this guy was a fucking legend, okay? They need to free this guy from fucking prison, dude. Holy shit. But yeah, free the fuck out of this guy. We essentially just kept doing our shit. We were like talking, but we weren't like necessarily like doing the same thing. Like we weren't working on the same thing, right? And he basically what he did is he was like he pulled out his phone and he was like, dude, I gotta fucking watch porn to keep the demons away. That's what he said. He said, I gotta turn on some porn, because porn, the frequencies of porn videos block out the demons that try and mess with me, right? Like I said, mental health shit. He has some mental health shit that makes him think things like that are really obviously not true. I don't really care. I'm just like, okay. And he doesn't, it's not even like he was like lying about that. Like that, he genuinely thought that, because he pulls out the porn and he doesn't even watch it. He just keeps it like to the side. He like keeps his phone that's playing the porn, he keeps it to the side while he's sorting his nails and screws. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? This guy is fucking crazy. But he is my friend. Bryce is my friend. At the end of the day, Bryce is my friend, and even if he's fucking, he thinks that porn blocks his fucking demons, dude, like, he's still my friend. I kind of laughed about it, but I was like, okay, cool. Like, I didn't like trying to argue with him. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a fucking like, I'm not like opposed to porn like that. Like, I'm not like one of those guys who's like, fucking, who will make you feel bad about jacking off. Like, I don't really care. But it's not even like he was jacking off. And the way he was explaining it to me, it was like he 100% believed it. Like, he wasn't fucking with me at all, guys. Like, he was like 100% convinced of this shit. The way he was explaining to me the process of blocking demons by watching porn, he was 100% convinced that this was like the method. It was fucking crazy. But essentially, dude, after a little bit of me doing homework and him sorting through his nails and screws while watching porn, sounds so fucking retarded. We kind of took a break and we went to like the fucking gas station while we were geeked. He gave me like a smoke, which this guy is the guy who used to like buy me my cigarettes when I was addicted to smoking. And dude, we were like smoking, and he like took me to like the fucking the Maverick near his house. Which if for those of you who live in different areas, Maverick is pretty much just like a really high quality gas station. That's pretty much all it is. It's just like a really high quality gas station. And he takes me to this Maverick, and he knows one of the cashiers that works there. So we're just kind of like smoking with her while she's on her break. And I got like these two mango monsters, these like really big sized mango monsters. Because, dude, at this point in my life, I was obsessed with Mango Monster. And I remember, dude, I was thirsty as a motherfucker. So I got these two mango monsters from the fucking from the goddamn gas station. And we leave the gas station after a little bit of talking to his friend. And we go back to his house. We go back to Bryce's house. And dude, it's kind of funny. Dude, I was like, after I got some carbonation in my stomach, I was burping up a storm. Cause, dude, for those of you who have geeked before, you know, done fucking amphetamines before, you know better than anybody, dude. Amphetamines, one effect of amphetamines is like you don't eat for a long ass time, so eventually your stomach is just empty as fuck, and the only thing in your stomach is air. So you just like kind of start like burping a little bit, like every once in a while you just like let out like a burp. And it's just like, and it tastes like nothing. And it's so weird because you're like, usually when you burp, it like tastes like the last thing you ate. But dude, when you're on amphetamines, it's like you're literally like, it's like you're like a balloon, dude. It's like when you burp, it doesn't taste like anything because you haven't eaten anything. So it just tastes like nothing. And it's such a weird thing. When I first started doing amphetamines, that weirded me the fuck out. It was like trippy to like burp and have it taste like nothing because you haven't eaten all day. But yeah, I got some carbonation in me. I was burping up a storm. And eventually me and Bryce, we just like sat in his car with the AC on because at first we were in his garage, but you know, as it gets closer to like 6 a.m., it gets really fucking cold outside. Like, for those of you who don't know how weather works, midnight is not the coldest time of night, dude. The coldest time of during all the 24 hours in the day is like fucking like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Like, those are like the coldest fucking hours of the day. And as it got closer to those hours, we kind of got too cold to be in the garage, right? So we eventually, I remember I took like a piss first. Dude, pissing on amphetamines is glorious, dude, because like when you get all that liquid in you and you just have to piss, dude, amphetamines make your pisses so fucking satisfying because you piss so much on amphetamines. So yeah, I took like a fucking like 2-minute long piss, and then I hopped in Bryce's car with him, and I remember we had this religious conversation. Like, we had the weirdest little like religious conversation about like if we should be guilty about doing drugs because like the Lord might fucking smite us or whatever the fuck. Which nowadays I'm definitely not fucking atheist. I do believe in a higher power, but nowadays I don't believe in like necessarily like Jesus. I don't believe in like Christianity. I'm more of just like a you know, like I believe in a God, I believe in a higher power, but I'm not really, I'm kind of like agnostic, I think it's called, where it's like, I'm like open to shit, but I don't really know necessarily. You know, I do definitely think there's a higher power, though. There's 100% a higher power. But back then, I think Bryce was a Christian, right? He was actually like a type of Mormon, but I don't know what it was necessarily called, because he believed in so much shit that Mormons don't believe in, dude. He believed in a whole bunch of extra shit. And he also didn't follow all the commandments, obviously, because he fucking smoked and did drugs. So, and watched porn to block the demons. So, he was like, he said he was Mormon, and he paid his tithing, but I don't think he was. I think he was some other, like, weird-ass flavor of Mormon, dude. I don't know what it was. I know there's, like, FLDS. I don't know what the other types of Mormon are. I don't know if there even are other types of Mormon, but he's some fucking weird-ass flavor of Mormon. But yeah, we have like these weird religious conversations about whether we should be guilty about doing drugs. And of course, our common consensus is that we shouldn't be. Of course, that's how we kind of looked at it. I remember Bryce was telling me, like, dude, until you're ready to change, you shouldn't be guilty about the things that you can't change. You know, like, he was, like, convincing me that, like, it was, like, completely fine to do drugs. Which, I mean, valid opinion, valid take. But yeah, basically, we had these religious-ass conversations, and eventually I had to leave because I had counseling at 9, right? And I was noticing that time was flying by super fast. And I was sad about that because, dude, I was having the best night ever, dude. Every night is the best night ever when you're on amphetamine. I was just having a really good fucking time. And I remember I was sad because I looked at the clock eventually and it was like 6:30 and I was like, damn, I have to go to fucking counseling in like an hour and a half. Or like 2.5 hours. Or no, it was an hour and a half actually. It was at 8. My counseling was at 8. It wasn't at 9. So eventually Bryce took me home. And I had to get picked up by my mom to go to, or no, I didn't have to get picked up by my mom. This is back when I had a fucking car. So I got dropped off by Bryce, and then I drove to counseling. And I remember, dude, I was coming down during my counseling. Bryce was actually worried. He was like, dude, your counselor's going to be able to tell you're geeked. But I don't think he did, because I think I, like, came down. I was coming down around the time that Bryce dropped me off. And so, like, I literally, like, went to counseling, and I had come all the way down. And I remember I was so fucking hungry, after counseling, that I, like, went and got, like, some fucking McGriddles. But, yeah, and then after that, I fucking, cause Bryce had given me, like, one more Adderall before he dropped me off, so I think I popped that shit and then went to work. That's what I think I did after my counseling, but yeah. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to share this story because, dude, Bryce was fucking crazy. Bryce, I miss that guy, dude. Watching porn to block the demons out. That's something you don't hear every day, alright? It was a good fucking experience. He was a chill guy to geek with. Very funny guy. I miss that guy. Fucking free that guy. Holy hell. But yeah, that's pretty much it.